Good evening and welcome to the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix from Imola. A very wet Imola, of course, sponsored by Nelco Hall, brought to you in partnership with GridFinder.com. I am Tim, back once again with my co-commentator, as always, Malk. And what do you make of this rain?
You're right, Tim. I'm doing very well, mate. I'm doing very well. I just seen it's an absolute pouring down at the Imola track as well. So these guys are going to have to be at their very, very best to decide what setup they're going to try and do. I know they'll be on the wet setup, but like try and make sure they get the perfect wet setup as well. So let's see how everything goes. We'll find out more about the weather crew. But how are you feeling today, Tim?
I'm feeling okay, just ready to see if it's going to be a wet race or just a wet qualifying, because that really does, bring up a key moment. You're talking about qualifying, or not qualifying, but setups, Malk, is that if it's going to be a dry race but a wet qualifying, then they have to go out there on their dry setup. And for those of you who may not have a lot of experience driving on F1 2021 in the rain, if you're doing so on a dry setup, you're going to have less downforce. Just by nature, the wet setup is going to have more downforce because you need all the grip that you can muster out of that car and out of those tires when the track surface is as we see it today. So if it's going to be a dry race, they have to go out there on the dry setup. Otherwise, they are going to have too much downforce in the dry conditions, and they're going to be very slow on the straightaway. So it's really a balancing act with these setups and with the weather and trying to predict it as well.
Oh, absolutely. And they have to be, like I said, they have to be at their very, very best to make sure they get everything spot on as well, because it is, without doubt, I think Imola is a great track to race on, the most iconic track ever. But in this wet conditions as well, you have to be at your very, very best as well. So just watching Gel on the Williams car now. Good evening to Spud. How you doing, mate? All right. Hope you came well. You are in the pits, and hopefully you'll do well in the Performance League tonight. Let's see how Gel can try and do. He's going to try and do his first ever lap. But Tim, do you want some good news or bad news with the weather crew, quickly?
Oh boy, so let me guess, it's going to be half dry, half wet. Oh my goodness, some contact though. Gel actually getting right into the back of the Aston Martin here. Not sure what's going on or why that's happening, but Gel right into the back of the Aston Martin. Was that Ginger Tiger perhaps? Or was it Rustman?
I was just about to say it wasn't Ginger Tiger, it was Rustman. It was Rustman that was close to Gel at that situation. Just to give you a bit of a recap, Tim, it isn't half-half. No. We are going to have wet qualifying, as you can see now, guys. We are going to have a dry race, from what I've been told. We're going to have a full-on dry race. So, from this situation as well, I think the guys should be on their dry setup, but it'd be interesting to see what they can do with in the wet conditions in the qualifying. That'll be the most crucial points of it all. The majority of the drivers are all out. Just watching Gel now. Gel's on to the third sector now. So, Tim, who are you watching so far?
Well, we are watching Gel. He will be our first driver to set a flying lap. However, it's not going to be the fastest lap that he needs because of that issue with Rustman. Rustman, of course, on his out lap. So, not sure if Gel's going to have anything to say about that later on after the race or not, but he goes a 127.255. Let's see when the next driver crosses the line just how much time he lost. He lost quite a bit of time. Keza, a 126.804, or is that a 004 actually? My apologies. A 004 for Keza there.
Yeah. 004 nearly into the 125s. Sol Power, who had a great race last week. Oh, Matty, and one of Prix is out. That's Tarak. Tarak is out in the first sector. The rain is absolutely torrentious. Tarak, who's having a torrid season in the Performance League. I have to double check on the count of how many he has DNF during the races, but you don't want to get another DNF during in this race itself. But I'm hoping he'll be a bit of a confidence boost to try and get himself to get at least some points in this race for tonight. But yeah, Simon Palmer's second, 126.346. JP, 126.883. O'Stephen, 127.1. Gel with that bit of a collision with Rustman with 127.255. And Nigel Asher, 127.845. So that's a bit of a bad lap as well. And Smoke, 127.871 as well. With Smoke as well. Tip.
So Matty really struggling around here in these wet conditions, just can't quite get the grip underneath that Alpine car. So Matty is not going to have the best lap that he needs, but at this point it's just all about getting a banker lap in just so you don't start last. But he's still last as far as the drivers that have set a time at 128.491, and that's what you get when you slip and slide out of the corners, much like Matty was doing. So needless to say, he's definitely got that dry weather set up in that Alpine, and it goes to show because there's no grip for him today.
Absolutely. There's no grip at all during the qualifying. So we'll have to wait and see how these guys can try and push on. I'm just watching Michael now in the Red Bull car come up to the end of the second sector into the third. 24.346. So this will be a slow lap for him. So he must have had a bit of a bad situation from his lap itself. Good evening to everyone that's joined the session, joined the chat. Hope everyone's all going well. Hello, Reeds. Good to see you back again each and every single week. Martin, how you doing, mate? You all right? Hope you came well. And Galera, or Moreno, how you doing, mate? Hope you came well. What's your thoughts of the qualifying? Predict your top three. Who do you think will be in the wet conditions, shall we say, at Imola? But I mean, Tim, this is going to be a mad one, I think, tonight.
It really is, because these drivers are not going to be used to the dry conditions when we get to the race. Now, sure, these drivers have had plenty of practice on Imola, so they know how to get around this track, whether it's wet or dry. But it's all about muscle memory, and if you're anything like me, then when you run, 3, 4, 5, however many laps you're going to run in qualifying in the wet conditions, then all of a sudden you have to transition to the dry. You pretty much have to rewire your brain in a way and remind yourself that the line's going to be a little bit different. The braking point is going to be a little bit different. The grip level is thankfully going to be a little bit different, but you really have to remind yourself that, you have to change your driving up a little bit.
Oh God, yeah, definitely, and that's the crucial point of it all, because obviously for this particular qualifying in the wet situation, they have to brake a little bit earlier than what they normally would have done anyway. So it's just all different aspects of their driving ability, because some of the drivers could go a little bit further braking as well, but you just have to wait and see how everything goes as well. But Spud with a 128.673. Hello Ellie, how you doing? Hope you came well. So yeah, 9 minutes 50 left of the qualifying on the Invictus Racing League at Imola as well. So if you like what you've seen so far, guys, please make sure you like and subscribe to the Invictus Racing League YouTube channel for all the live races itself. We are aiming for at least 10 likes tonight, guys. We're aiming for at least 10 likes tonight. Will be a massive help to myself and Tim as the commentators, as well as the Invictus Racing League on the YouTube channel as well. Thank you so much, guys. Tim, who are you watching so far?
Been watching Speed Queen 80, her best lap time, a 126.584, 3 laps on those intermediate tires. And the beauty about it being a dry race now is it doesn't matter how many laps you put on your tires in qualifying, you don't have to use them.
Oh, God, no, absolutely. They can pick wherever tyre wear that they can. And it'll be a massive help decision making, because we haven't mentioned about the strategy as well. So the strategy that's going to happen could be, it will be a one-stop strategy, 32 laps. So the softs can only last about 12 to 14 laps, and the mediums can last about just over 20 laps. So they could go on to 12 laps on the softs and then 20 laps on the mediums, depending on how they can try and manage their tyre wear to their ability and to their very best in their driving skills as well. So that'll be the crucial point of it all. So it will definitely be a one-stop. So just wait and see how everything goes. So I'm just watching. I'm trying to have a look to see who else is watching. Just seeing Kessler can try and improve. Kessler's into the third sector now. So yeah, Tim. I mean, have you driven around Imola much?
I actually do have quite a few laps around Imola, and you know, with the exception of the sector of the course that Michael is approaching right now, pretty much from here all the way through this uphill right-hander, which really reminds me of Turn 8 at Portimao, and even this chicane up here, except for this entire sector, I really do like the Imola circuit. And honestly, yeah, I do have to say the final corner as well. I do not like the final corner. The track limits there are ridiculous, and I wish that there were stewards that I could yell at, but there are not.
You're hoping that the stewards would have been there. Sorted out, Tim, to be fair. Keza improves his time, 125.119, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I think...
A 125.4.
That's a good time, to be fair, on the Red Bull car. So, but even better from Keza, because 125.119, that is impressive stuff. We nearly hit the 24s. The way it looks at the minute. So it looks like the track is getting a little bit better for the intermediates, but fair play to Keza to improve that time as well. So Nigel Cash also 125.828, Tim.
So Keza, Michael, Nitro Gas, your top 3 with Ginger Tiger and Rustman, your top 5 in qualifying. Just over 6.5 minutes remaining in the qualifying session. So it's going to be a wet qualifying, as you can see, but a dry race. If you're just joining us for the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League, Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix from Imola, and what a fantastic race it's shaping up to be. We were talking about strategy, Malk, and that's one thing that these drivers are going to have the benefit of is free tire choice, because normally the rules call for you to start on the tire that you set your fastest lap on if you qualified in the top 10. But if it was a wet qualifying, which today is, then those rules no longer apply because it's going to be a dry race. These drivers have free choice of tires no matter where you start, and that is a rare opportunity that you need to take advantage of. So if you want to start on the hards, the mediums, the softs, it's whatever you want to do today. And that can really pay dividends for your race, because just imagine, Malk, at tracks like, say, Singapore or Baku, to where normally you are going to see a medium to hard strategy at least be viable, but you have to start outside the top 10 to get those fresh medium tires. So now you are at a disadvantage because you don't have track position. If, say, Keza today gets the pole, then he has free tire choice. He can go on the mediums if he wants to, do that reverse strategy from the top spot, and if he's got the pace, then he's going to be flying at the end of the race when he's on those soft tires.
Oh God, yeah, you'll be flying, and just hope that he'll have a great start and keep going as well. Just seeing how Ginger try to improve, does not improve his time. Gel has, I think he's crashed. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tim. I think he has crashed at Sector 1. I'm just watching it from Ginger Tiger's point of view. Yeah, the Williams car's gone off track and hit the wall. And even though he finished in 3rd, he will not improve his time. But he did improve. Well, I'll tell you what, he got knocked off by JP in 3rd place, 125.541, Tim.
Yeah, the lap time starting to come in, just over 4 minutes remaining in this qualifying session. Taking a look at Matty now in the Alpine, starting to find a little bit of grip in that car. Early on, he was definitely struggling, but now he's starting to get a nice little feel for that Alpine in P8, a 126.217. But I have a feeling, just looking at that car and it being a little bit more stable, and the fact that he just went purple in Sector 2, that it's going to be a little bit of a quicker lap for our driver today. So let's see what Matty's going to be able to do. He is in the 3rd and final sector. Just a couple more corners to go. Keza still on that top spot, though, with that 125.119.
Yeah, and he's doing a stellar job at the moment, trying to improve his time as well. To see how Matty can try and do. Does improve to 5th. He does himself to move himself to 5th place. So that's a good time for Matty. But yeah, 3 minutes 25 left of the qualifying. Can anyone try and stop Keza? 6, 7, 8, 9 on pole position with 125.119. So at the moment, the only one that's not done a lap yet is Sab. But like I said, I hope. Well, just as I said that, Sab has retired from the session, so he will not be able to do the times at all. But like I said, watch out for the drivers that have done well at the back of the grid to pull themselves into a good position. I mean, I remember Saab going through the pack to get himself into, I think it was the top 4 of the podium, I think it was at the time, and that was a good result for him as well. So we'll have to watch out for him. As well as Speed Queen, she's on a roll at the minute with podiums the last 2 races in a row, Tim. The one to, I'm sorry to say this for the stats people, for the stats one, Tarak has got 9, and I've said that again, 9 consecutive DNFs this season. I'm hoping this is not going to be the big 10 for DNFs for Tarak team.
Yeah, and unfortunate for Tarak, because we know what that driver is capable of, but sadly, it's just really not came to fruition this season. And I was unaware that it was actually 9 DNFs, Malk. I hadn't counted, but I knew it was a lot, and you got to feel for Tarak, because that is so difficult to have to deal with. It's just DNF after DNF after DNF, and, you know, looking at the point standings, it truly is just a line, and it looks just as ugly as it sounds. But while we're on the point standings, we are taking a look at our points leader of Russman. Now, sadly, he did invalidate his last lap and this lap as well, so it's going to be a while before he can get a faster lap in. But he does lead his teammate of Smoke by 10 points in our driver standings, and they've pretty much been trading that top spot for the past few weeks. Russman is, we're dubbing him Mr. Consistency now, because last week he scored his 25th consecutive points finish, 25th consecutive finish in the Realistic Performance League too. See, that's the thing. In the Realistic Performance League, if you finish, you get points. So it's not only his 25th consecutive points finish, it's his 25th consecutive start, his 25th consecutive race finish in general in this series. So Russman, who was a title contender last season and a title contender this season now, Mr. Consistency out on track and just barely leading his teammate. Now remember, what happened?
Sorry, Tim. Sorry to interrupt you there, Tim. I'll let you get back in a minute. 125.146 from Simon Palmer, moves us up to second place. Tim.
So that's a good lap from Simon Palmer in the McLaren. But if you remember Russman's teammate of Smoke, he did get 4 wins in a row earlier this season. So that's where he's found himself close to Russman, is because of those 4 wins. And ultimately, their team, No Michael No, does lead the constructor standings by a wide margin, 314 points to 276 points, belonging to Speed Spud, that of course being Speed Queen 80 and Sir Spud. Third place is All Thumbs Massey with Ginger Tiger and Maddie. They have 228 points. And I don't want to say that the constructor standings is wrapped up already, but it's really starting to look like that No Michael No has got it in the back.
Yes, but remember, it's always unbelievable scenes. And I tell you what's an unbelievable scene at the moment, not because of the constructors, but Michael has got himself into pole position with a 124.745. Wow! Wow! What a lap! What an unbelievable lap! Just seeing if I don't think Simon Palmer will improve his time. Where's Speed Queen? Can she improve her time? I don't know if she will. Doubt it. Where's JP? JP is coming up to the third. He's already a 10th down at the moment, so he's the only one who's like in the top 5 that could change the position. Speed Queen in 4th place at the moment. So yeah, guys, if you want to predict who you think will win the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix itself, bring them in, send them in. Moreno did a Keza, Gel and Matty prediction for the qualifying. And I'll tell you what, you've got one of them in the top 3, but unlucky on that. So, Tim, qualifying has stopped. I'll let you do the classification.
And your official starting lineup for the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Realistic Performance League Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Michael Lute in first, Keza in second, Simon Palmer in third, JP in fourth, Speed Queen 80 in fifth, Ginger Tiger in sixth, Gel in seventh, Smoke in eighth, ninth is Maddie Russman in 10th, Nitro Gash in 11th, Sir Spud in 12th, 13th is O'Steven, 14th is Sab, and then Tarak in the 15th position. Going to have to go from the back to the front there, that Ferrari driver. And remember, he's got 9 DNFs in a row. Do we hear 10 DNFs in a row today? Well, let's hope not, because Tarak certainly does not want to have to deal with that. 15 drivers going to be taking the green flag. It will be a dry race. And with the differing tire strategies that we potentially will be seeing, Malk, I think it's going to be one of the best. And it's time now for our top 3 predictions.
Ooh, top 3 predictions. This is going to be tough. This is going to be really tough. I'm going to say Keza, JP, and I'm going to say I'm outside of Russman, because of the form that he's in at the minute in the last 2 races.
I am going to go with Keza, Simon Palmer, and Michael.
Oh.
I think today is the day that Michael finally puts the race together that he needs to get a solid finishing position. We were talking about the point standings. We were talking about Russman up top. We did not mention Michael. You got to go way, way down to look at him. He is in the 16th position. He has got a few points bank finishes, but also 3 DNFs on the season, as well as 2 races he was not able to start. So his championship hopes, impossible for this season, but doesn't mean he can't walk away with a win or a podium, or at least a handful of points with a good finish.
Absolutely, but remember, Tim, and I don't want to be the bad guy. I do not want to be that bad guy, but I have seen a couple of times where he had the pole position, and he struggled in the race pace. So, yeah, he might get some points, but I feel like Michael's going to be struggling. I think that's why I didn't pick him in the top 3. No offense, but I feel like I hope he proves me wrong. I really do hope. You know what I mean? I just hope he proves me wrong. But with the form that he's had, he does well at the start. Then his pace just drops. That's how I see it. But it could be a different circumstance. I just hope he will do well as well. Just quickly reading. Just reading some of the comments here, to be fair. So, Joe says, nice, unstable Williams. That was when he was crashed. Rain says, Ginger Tiger, Speed Queen, and Keza. I forgot to mention Speed Queen. Could be on for the top 3 itself. But he said he's counting on in the potential carnage. Ellie's going for JP, Simon, and Nitro. Rain says, undercut is the way to go for the drivers who have been in the same car the longest. That'll be a good one. Russman says, you've always got my back, Mal. And Michael says, don't be the bad guy. I'm sorry, Michael. I am so sorry, mate. But I'm looking at it from form perspective, and also what we have seen from this season in the Performance League. But again, I hope you prove me wrong to get into the top 3. I really do hope you do. But I'm quite looking forward to it tonight, Tim. I really am looking forward to it. But remember, the strategy to go for is either soft or mediums, and I've been told not to go on the hards because it's no good. But Tarak has gone for the hards, so I'm hoping Tarak will have a very good day today to at least get some points for Tarak.
Well, if you're starting from the back, as far back as Tarak is, you might as well try something different. I mean, best case scenario, it works for you. But assuming this goes green, I'd say it's safe to say that Tarak is going to be going onto a one-stop strategy with hard to soft compound tires. And also, I just noticed, Malcolm, this was not intentional. But I had the names in my head, so that's why I chose my 3 drivers. I chose the top 3. I chose the top 3 in qualifying order, and that was not intentional. It's just how it worked out.
Yeah, we'll remember that next time, Tim. We'll remember that next time. Like, I picked the top 3 from the qualifying. But fair play, though. Fair play on that. The drivers are coming into the last bit of the corner, so... but yeah, guys, if you are watching the stream, please make sure you like, subscribe to the Invictus Racing League YouTube channel for all the live races itself. We are aiming for at least 10 likes tonight, guys. So, will be a massive help to myself and Tim as the commentators, and a massive help to the Invictus Racing League YouTube channel. Tim, over to you, mate, for the starting grid.
And an honor it is each and every week, Mount. The drivers finding their appropriate positions on the grid. 15 drivers going to be going 32 laps around the Imola circuit, historic circuit, on the Formula One calendar, and a challenging one indeed for these drivers. Michael Luke will lead them off, and you hear those engines driving, you hear those itchy pedal feet. The drivers watching the lights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights in the air. No red lights. We are green for the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Michael Luke already losing, and we got contact, and a lot of carnage. How many cars was that? 4 or 5 cars wrecking before they get the turn 1. Virtual safety car will likely be upgraded to a full safety car somehow, some way. No driver has DNF'd, but it has been absolute carnage. The top 3 still remains mostly unchanged, save for Michael Luke dropping down to 2nd place and still under the virtual safety car conditions. Looks like we will stay under virtual safety car. It will not be upgraded as far as I can tell, but it does appear as though there was at least 3 or 4 cars involved in that mess.
Yeah, absolutely, and there's quite a few drivers. I don't know what happened. I'm just watching the back of the grid as well. I don't know if Spud has just had the yellow flag ignored yellow flag, so that might be took off. I don't know because of the issue with the game itself. So we'll have to double check on that. But they were a bit farther behind, so they need to try and push on and catch up to the guys as quickly as possible. But I did not see what happened at the front because I was trying to watch from the back, from the mid-pack itself. So, but that was a carnage galore at the start of the Grand Prix, which you did not want to do in the start of round 11 of the Invictus Racing League,
and
the Performance League team.
I'll tell you that there's 3 cars, Turok, Ginger Tiger, and Speed Queen 80. They must be very, very dedicated Formula One fans. They're trying to throw it back to the old 1950s cars because there is no front wing on those cars. But Michael Luke has passed Keza for the lead now, so he gets back into that top spot. Keza back into 2nd. Simon Palmer hanging on to 3rd, battling with JP, trying to keep that Ferrari behind him. So while one Ferrari is wingless, another Ferrari is fighting for the podium. And JP, he's got a handful of wins, actually, on the season. Of course, he was our winner earlier on in the season in Bahrain, and he also picked up a win a couple of weeks ago. I believe that was in Saudi Arabia. So JP definitely knows how to find victory lane in this series, even though we really don't talk about him a lot. It's like he either has a really good race where he's on the podium or he gets a win, or he's just kind of nowhere to be seen and he just hangs out.
It just depends on what day turns up. Oh, Nitro! Sorry, Tim. Nitro just spun and lost it in the 2nd sector. No contact. He completely lost the back end. And now he's going to have to start carrying on from 8th place. This is a mad race already.
So, Mount, I just want you to do something for me. It's nighttime over there in the UK, right? I want you to look out the window. Tell me, is it a full moon anywhere? Because the way that the race is playing out already after 2 laps, on lap 3 now, DRS just now activated, with all the carnage we've had, it's like it's a full moon.
Oh, it's definitely still light at the minute, but it will turn dark in a matter of an hour or so. But again, I do agree what you're trying to say, Tim, but this is madness, absolutely madness. I'm hoping that's all a bit calmed down now, but there must have been something going on between Ginger Tiger, Speed Queen, and also Tarak, who had that bit of a carnage at the start of the Grand Prix. Keza's got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, so we'll have to wait and see how everything plans out as well. Rain says, come on guys, give us a show, and and he says, well, you got your show there, Rains, after the carnage, what you said earlier on. Martin says it was the same but smaller in F3 yesterday, but Rain says literally the same start as F3, so apparently this is what happened in F3 yesterday, or similarity should we say, but yeah, absolute madness to be fair. So the only battle that I could see at the moment here is between Simon Palmer and JP for 3rd and 4th respectively. Everyone else is all spread out now, Tim.
Yeah, and I want to draw our viewers' attention over to the right-hand side of our screen, taking a look at our track map. And look at those cars around the hairpin. That Alfa Romeo, that's Speed Queen 80 in 15th place. She is in jeopardy of, here in a handful of laps, going a lap down because we had a virtual safety car, but not a full safety car after that wreck on lap 1. Now, the virtual safety car only lasted about a quarter of a lap. So those cars had to limp it back to the pits, make a pit stop, then go back out on track without a front wing originally before making their pit stop. So that's why they're, well, so far back that they're pretty much in front of the leaders at this point, and that's got to be a painful drive for those drivers, especially knowing that we still have just under 30 laps remaining in this race.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's just, you don't want that start at all, but they're hoping that they can go on to get a safety car as quickly as possible. But where they're going to get that safety car, I do not know, but let's just hope that they can try and catch up with the pace of everyone else. And JP still trying to close the gap. Kesa's getting close to Michael. Kesa is getting close to Michael. Tinnis, how you doing, mate? You're right. Okay, well, says, let's go, Michael. Improve your P2 of yesterday into a P1 tonight. So Michael had a P2 last night. So fair play to him. But I hope he proves me wrong. I hope he proves me wrong that he can get into the top 3. But I'm just based on the form. We have to wait to see how Kesa can try and put the pressure on. That's where, like, the best drivers can hold that pressure and all that determination to try and keep that consistency going as well. So we'll have to wait and see how everything goes. We've got this battle going between first and second. We've got Russman and O'Steven, and Suspud and Sab for 9th and 10th. Sab in 10th place as well, getting close to Suspud in 9th. Tim.
So, Matt, you realize if Michael wins tonight, when he comes in for the interview, he is going to be chewing you out. Like, he's going to be screaming at you for not picking him.
He probably will. I'll not be surprised if he would. Well, I'll be very surprised if he wouldn't. But I'm just based on the form. I'm just based on what he has done this season, where he has been in the pole position. He has struggled with race pace. Again, we'll have to wait and see how everything goes. It's early doors at the minute, Tim. It's very early doors.
Well, Kesa, he's got the slipstream, though, Malkin. He's looking underneath of Michael Luke now and makes the move done like the Red Bull wasn't even there. Move Kesa up to that first position. But remember, with that 3-second time penalty, Kesa has got to put a gap between him and Michael. He's got plenty of laps to do it, though.
He's playing laps. Track, unfortunately, has hit the 10th DNF in a row of the season at the Performance League. Now we have got another virtual safety car. But he crashed on the left-hand side of the wall as well. So Tarak, unfortunately, I'm sorry, mate, but you have got the dreaded 10th DNF in a row. He has not. He's only scored points from the very first race of the season. That was in. I think that was in 8th or 9th place itself. So mad scenes with absolutely mad from Tarak, but I'm hoping he'll bounce back. Russman, Russman's got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car, so that's not good news for him as well. But can Kessler improve his 3 seconds? I hope he does, because he has been slowly catching up with the consistency that he needed, to be fair. So here we can go. Saab, 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Tim.
So watching Michael battle with Kesa, and I think he's going to try the same move that Kesa did on him down the front straightaway. Yes, he does. Not as smooth as Kesa, but still gets the job done. All the same, clears him going into 1, so move Michael back up into that first position. And now is the time he needs to start pulling away. You know, Michael, you said it yourself, Mouth, that he really has not been on form in the races this season, and that today, if he were able to have a good finish and put a race together, that it would just be a massive boost to his confidence, and that it would really break that mold and break that trend that we have seen with this Red Bull driver. And so far, he's really trying to I guess put his money where his time was in qualifying and show us that he can, in fact, lead a race. And you know what? Who knows? At the end of a few laps, maybe win a race.
Absolutely. Speed Queen has spun out, and unfortunately for her, she is a lap down already. So not good news for Speed Queen from this race as well. But again, I hope Michael does well. I really do hope Michael can do very well indeed. Sab's just coming out of the pits now. Jin's Tiger's just gone ahead now. So we'll have to wait and see how everything goes. Nitrogash is in danger as well of getting lapped as well, but can so far getting close to Keza. Keza needs to get close to Michael. Michael's trying to use all that ERS as much as possible. This is going to be close to try and get onto the turn one. Can Keza go for it? No! I thought he was going to go for it, Tim. I really thought he was going to go for it, but he's playing these cards stacked up to make sure he gets the right move done as quickly as possible. But Michael holding on and get a good... Oh, okay. He's using the outside of the S's of that chicane and push forward. So we'll have to wait and see how everything gets planned out for Michael at this stage. But Simon Palmer's getting close to Kessa, Tim.
Yeah, and I want you to take a look that the top three cars are pretty much in a nice little line to where they can battle with each other. But then it is just no man's land back there to where JP is, 5 seconds behind this third place battle. And look at Keza, swerving a little bit there, trying to break what little slipstream Simon Palmer is going to get down that small straightaway. But sometimes you just have to do anything and everything that you can to keep that driver behind. And knowing Simon Palmer like I do, if he gets by Keza, he's going to be a man on a mission to get around Michael Luke. So he cannot let Simon by, and he knows that, because when you give Simon a whiff of fresh air as Keza dives down into the pits, but if you give Simon a whiff of that clean air and a whiff of that lead, he's going to pull away with it.
Absolutely, and I remember last week, Tim. Remember last week when he made a good move from being third to first. I ain't forget that. That was a great move that he did last week, to be fair. So, since Martin decided to make a penalty distance, there, 10 pounds there, finally there. Okay, so, but yeah, it's been a great race so far in the Invictus Racing League, the Performance League at Imola. Absolutely madness stuff. If you have just joined, ladies and gentlemen, Spud nearly lost it through the S's, and that has to let Keza through. So Keza on those fresh medium tyre needs to produce a qualifying lap. Yellow flag set to 2. Not sure where that's come from, but that is, I believe, I think that's Russman going into the pits, Gel. Russman's going into the pits. Not sure what happened there, but madness, to be fair. If you just joined, ladies and gentlemen, there's been a mad carnage start in the Performance League. About 3 or 4 cars, correct me if I'm wrong, 3 or 4 cars who have had the damaged front wing. Unfortunately for that, they've been near the back of the grid as well. So, mad to see, to be fair. So, Simon Palmer has got himself into the pits. Kesa's come up to the final, down the straight before the 2 final corners. So, it'll be interesting to see how far it is for Simon Palmer to get himself out of those pits. Just see where he is now. Simon Palmer is just about to come out of the pits. Where's Keza? Keza's just coming up to the start finishing line straight now. So Simon Palmer could... where's Keza? Keza could lose out to Simon Palmer. Keza's lost out to Simon Palmer, Tim.
So the undercut not working for Keza there. Simon Palmer gets out about half a second ahead of that AlphaTauri driver. So Simon Palmer starting to pull away now, actually. And Keza had a bit of a moment through that chicane. So he was struggling for grip there for a brief moment. So Keza having a little bit of issue as far as getting to know his AlphaTauri car with these new medium tires. Of course, that I don't expect to last very long, because he will eventually find the grip in those tires. And with Simon Palmer being on colder tires, we see Keza now gaining just a touch on the McLaren. But this is going to be a battle that I feel like is not going to go away anytime soon. Between him and Michael, all 3 of these drivers, they have battled pretty much the entire race. Now pit stops have separated them, but they'll eventually find their way back home.
Absolutely, so it'll be interesting to see what battles is going to be kicking off now and again. So, great choices so far. But yeah, guys, if you are like the race, the stream so far, please make sure you like, subscribe to the Invictus Racing League YouTube channel for all the live races itself, and also like the stream as well if you are enjoying the stream so far. I've just seen that we have hit over 10 likes. Thank you so much for that. If we can get to 15 or a bit of a push to get us up to 20, that would be a massive help for myself and Tim as the commentators, as well as the Invictus Racing League YouTube channel as well. Thank you so much, guys.
And this is the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, brought to you in partnership with GridFinder.com, sponsored by Nailcoat Hall. Big thank you to our sponsors for jumping on board, supporting the stream and the league as a whole. Michael, Luke, JP, and Smoke, your top three, with Maddie and O'Steven, your top five. Simon Palmer, Keza, Sir Spud, Gel, and Ginger Tiger, your top 10. But you're watching the battle for that final spot in the top 10 between Sab and Ginger Tiger. It's been going on for quite a few laps now. Sab slowly but surely working his way up to the back of that Aston Martin car, but if you take a look, that black and white box is not good. Sab has a whopping 8 seconds worth of time penalties, and that is going to come back to bite him at the end of this race. So even if he gets by Ginger Tiger, he's still got a lot of driving to do. 5 seconds belonging to Sir Spud, then 3 seconds to Keza, and 5 to O'Steven. So early on, already the drivers racking up the time penalties.
Absolutely. I think I was speaking to Sab, or just seeing some of the comments from Sab just before we started. He's saying this is not one of his best tracks, and correct me if I'm wrong, he did a lot of practice at this track, and about I think it was about over 20 odd, he only had about three valid laps, 3 or 5 valid laps. So you could tell that Sab does not like this track at all. So just interested to see if he can try and catch up and also get ahead, which you are right, Tim. It's going to be a bit difficult for those 8 seconds, but it all depends on other situations as well. And Keza has got himself another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, Tim.
So would you say that Sab maybe has just mentally resigned from this race, and that he's just out there trying to collect a few points as long as the car is going to stay intact?
Don't write him off. Don't write him off just yet. Like I said, wherever you finish, you'll guarantee points. And Smokey's goes ahead of Michael for second place. But for Sab's situation, this is crucial points, because Delange is not there tonight. So whatever points that Sab can get, it's still a massive help.
And Malk, look at Simon Palmer. He actually passes Michael Luke. Simon Palmer passes Michael Luke as he's exiting the pits, but now Simon Palmer picked up a 3-second time penalty. So now he has got to deal with that. Michael Luke, I do believe, will be second place once the drivers ahead pit. Simon Palmer's already made his pit stop. Michael just made his pit stop. But Simon Palmer was able to just barely get ahead of Michael. And you got to think, he's got to be kicking himself now, because he picked up that time penalty right after he made the pass for what could turn into the lead.
What actually happened there, Tim? Because I just caught the aftermath of it.
Oh, Simon Palmer went wide again and went off the track, so that might be another warning for that McLaren. So already it's not looking good for Simon Palmer's chances, even though he's definitely one of the fastest cars in the field today, but he's trying to chase down O'Steven. But to answer your question, Malk, Simon Palmer was able to pass Michael Luke as Michael was exiting the pit, so that undercut strategy that Simon Palmer went for really paid dividends for him. But somehow he picked up a time penalty right after he passed him going through the corners. It did not look to me like he actually went over the corner. Granted, I was not paying attention to track limits. I was so amazed that Simon Palmer was able to run down Michael. But now Simon is having to deal with O'Steven. The pit stops are starting to happen. Smoke is already pitted, so now Simon Palmer has inherited the 4th position, and he should be inheriting the lead here soon. JP, Maddie, O'Steven, they all need to pit. They might be able to survive a few more laps, though, on those mediums.
Michael is getting impatient, Tim. Michael is getting impatient now. Wanted to try and make the move against Simon Palmer, but could not do it. So Michael, who wants to try and get to that podium, needs to try and make that move against Simon as quickly as possible. But O'Steven, Matty, I know the top 3 will be in the pits later on, but Simon Palmer's going to try and go for him. Oh no, I thought he was going to go for it before the chicane, but we're going to wait until the DRS to get the greatest opportunity they can get. They're in the 3rd sector at the moment, but still, Tim, Keza's also behind in 6th, so we've got a mad race to carry on with from second all the way down to 6th place, Tim.
Well, we were waiting when the actual racing would start. After a carnage-filled lap 1, finally we're getting some action here. Simon Palmer trying to hold off Michael Luke, and Michael going around the outside of Simon Palmer. Does he get the move done? It's going to be a side-by-side battle. It's 2 side-by-side battles, and Michael was not able to get the position done. And now Nitro Gas is retired from the session. What's going to happen? We're yellow flag in Sector 1. Now we are under a safety car.
Nitro has lost it. I've just seen it from Michael's car. He has lost it just before. I think it was 1, 2, 3. I think it was turn 5. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it might be turn 5 issue. It's like the fast left and then right-hander as well. So unfortunately for Nitro, he's the second driver in the race today. We had the DNF. Sab's got another 5-second time penalty for, I believe, speeding in the pit lane again, or time penalty itself. So mad times. But like I said to you earlier, Tim, I hope Sav can get some decent points for this evening. Even though he's got like loads of penalty points, penalty seconds. Sorry, but basically, let's hope that Sav can try and hold on to get a decent finish, Tim.
And this safety car is definitely going to at least help him out. It helps out a lot of drivers because, as you saw, the field was really spaced out there. Now, it does not help Michael, Simon, or Keza at all because those 3 drivers were running top 3 before the pit stop started, and they had checked out. They were in their own little group, 5 seconds ahead of 4th place. Now the entire field is going to be bunched back up, running nose to tail when we go back green just past our halfway point when that occurs. So Simon Palmer going to have to deal with a 3-second time penalty, but Michael, he's looking like he's very strong today. And of course, Keza, he picked up a time penalty as well, but he's making a pit stop. So looking like he's getting a fresh set of Dr. Feelgoods on that Alpha Tauri car. Michael Luke, of course, with those fresh tires already in P2. JP, fresh softs in 3rd place. So maybe he could be our dark horse of the day.
Ooh, 17 laps, Tim. 17 laps on those softs. People are pitted between 9 and 12. It's going to be a push, Tim. It's going to be a massive push. He's going to hope that there's going to be another safety car just to save him for a bit. But again, I hope he proves me wrong. I really do hope he proves me wrong. But at the moment, Simon Palmer's in 1st place. So let's see if he can try and keep that consistency going. With his he had his first win of the season last week at Mexico. Sorry, I'm trying to get my head around it. But yeah, he got his first win of the season against Mexico. Can he be the second one? It all depends on the penalty and also the pressure from Michael, JP, and also Smoke. Smoke, we haven't mentioned about Smoke, Tim. We haven't mentioned about Smoke at all during the race because he has been quiet. And he's trying to do a quiet race, and he's just going through the pack and trying to get into the top 4 as it stands, Tim.
Man, Smoke's just chilling back there. That's pretty much just what he is doing. And he's not really been in contention until now. I mean, he was up there in the top 3 briefly, but that was because of pit stops. Now that this safety car has came out, this has really helped Smoke. And if you take a look at where his teammate of Russman is, all the way in P12 versus Smoke being in P4, correct me if I'm wrong, because you know how I am with math, but if the race were to end at this very moment, Smoke getting 4th, Russman getting 12th, Smoke would pass his teammate in the championship, and he would be leading the points.
17. I'm just counting quickly. 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. So Russman will have 9 points, so he would have 171. That's right, 171. Smoke is at the moment 17 points. I've got to check the fastest lap. 169. So at the moment, Russman will still be ahead of his teammate by 2 points if it stays like this, Tim.
Oh wow! So very, very close. So it's looking like Smoke needs a podium and Russman needs to, well, pretty much finish where he's running now if we're going to see Smoke be the points leader after the race today. But it's not over until it's over. And these 2 drivers, they are teammates, so they might be competing for that championship, but they're also going to work together at the same time.
absolutely. But Smoke doesn't need to get the first place. He can get third, and if Russman stays where he is in 12th, and Smoke finishes in third, Smoke will be ahead by 1 point, Tim. Smoke will be ahead by 1 point if he moves up to third place. So, yeah, just have to wait and see how everything goes. Just reading some of the comments, guys. The Luke needs really time spins. That was from where, just before the safety car, correct me if I'm wrong. And this is going to be heavy for Michael to hold JP behind him. Yeah, it will be, because obviously he's got the fastest tyre, shall we say, in the soft. So, but bear in mind though, Dennis, you got to think about the tyre wear at the end of this race. He's gonna have to do 17 laps. 17 laps, and I predicted between like 12 to 14 before we started, and some of the drivers are pitted from not between 9 and 12. So unless JP's got that greatest setup of no tyre wear, like not much tyre wear, decoration itself, he will have a chance to finish off in third. Be just in the top three itself. But just all depends on how the tyre wear can go in the last 5, possibly last 5-6 laps, Tim.
Well, it looks like we might be in for another safety car lap. Not exactly sure. We're about to find out. But if we're in for another safety car lap, that would help JP tremendously with that tire wear. You say that, the drivers have been pitting around lap 9 to 12. So JP is sort of falling somewhat within that window. Okay, safety car coming in this lap, so he is not falling within that window. He's just outside that window, but we do have less fuel in these cars than when we started, so that will help the tire wear a little bit. Will it be enough to keep JP in contention? We're about to find out. Simon Palmer will be the control car, gets to decide when we restart this race as long as it's before the start-finish line. We'll ride on board with Michael Luke to see what kind of a jump Simon Palmer is able to get on him. And Simon Palmer, he is ready to go. Look at that, down the front straightaway, and we are back green from Imola, lap 18 of 32, now lap 19 of 32. Getting down to the final stages of this race, and Michael Luke, he was your pole sitter. He finds himself in second, trying to chase down a time penalty stricken Simon Palmer, who needs to get at least 3 seconds ahead of Michael and stay there.
Absolutely, but it's going to be tough. Reid says Simon's in the pickle. He needs to save his tyres at the end because of that penalty. I do agree with that, Reid. I do agree with that. That's where Simon needs to be at. Uses all his experience to try and hold on against the fight of Michael. It looks like Giles and the battle with Spud between 8th and 9th. Can Spud fight back, or will Gel hold on for 8th? It looks like is that Tiger? Yeah, it is. It's Tiger getting close to Spud in 9th place, but JP is going to try and attack Michael in the next lap also too.
Riding on board Ginger Tiger, and he is trying to give chase to that Sir Spud machine there in the Mercedes, but not able to do much with it. A little bit of a slide through that chicane, but Sir Spud, he was very slow through the chicane, and that actually held up Ginger Tiger, and that has got to be a pain for that Aston Martin driver who is in P10 at the moment, trying to get around Sir Spud. And it's quite obvious that Ginger Tiger is faster than Spud, and if he gets around him, he might be able to chase down Gel and actually have a battle with him. But this could be Ginger Tiger's opportunity to get around Sir Spud, but I think that Sir Spud might just be using his ERS to stay ahead of the Aston Martin, even though Ginger Tiger was going to have a look, but not able to do anything with it. He has to stay behind Sir Spud that time. We'll go back and take a look at Matty, who briefly was able to battle with Smoke, but now is battling with Keza. Keza right behind him, trying to find a way around this Alpine, and he's going to have 2 Alpines that he's going to have to pick off. And Keza, another one of those drivers that started in the top 3, but picked up a time penalty. So of our top 3 starters, Michael's the only one without a time penalty at the moment, and he is closing in on Simon Palmer. 4/10 of a second, Simon Palmer spins! Simon has spun! Michael Luke gets into the lead. JP just behind him, and very close indeed. Simon Palmer, though, it doesn't matter now with that time penalty because he is spun, and he finds himself dropping very quickly, and now JP has got a time penalty, 3 seconds for multiple warnings. That means that Michael is somewhat securely in the lead of this race with 12 laps to go when they get to the line.
He's waiting for that moment, Tim. He's waiting for that moment. DRS is enabled now. DRS is now enabled. Waiting to see how everything goes at this stage. But JP had that penalty just a few moments ago, so he'll be under a lot of pressure against to try and get rid of it, and also try and get ahead of Michael at this stage as well. Keza getting close to Matty by 4/10. We've got that battle going. We've got the top two having a good battle, and also the big a three-car battle between 8th, 9th, and also 10th with Spudge and Tycoon Sappytron.
Still watching the battle between JP and Michael. Lucas is for the lead. Smoke quietly finds himself in P3 back there as well. And then Matty in 4th, Keza in 5th. This is the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix from Imola. Big thank you to our sponsors, though, for jumping on board, supporting the stream and the league as a whole. Nailcoat Hall sponsoring the stream. Brought to you in partnership with GridFinder.com. It's been a chaotic race, so chaotic that I almost don't even know where to begin or what to say. I don't even think I know who I am at this point, Malk, because every time I think I have a read on this race of what's going to happen, who's going to be fast, say for Michael Luke today, it's just changed. And now JP going around Michael to yet again cast more confusion over this race for me. JP finds himself in the first position, but remember, with that time penalty, he is going to have to pull away from Michael, and I don't think that's really going to be an issue early on. 5 laps on those soft compound tires, which, you know, about 2 or 3 of them were under the safety car. So JP is going to be a little bit faster than Michael at first, but I do believe that that Red Bull is going to quickly catch back up to that Ferrari after a handful of laps, because the soft tires, as you pointed out, Malk, only seem to be lasting about 9 to 12 laps. That's the window. And JP, unfortunately for him, is going to have to not only see these tires to the end, but he's going to have to see them with more laps on them than that.
Absolutely, and we'll have to wait to see how everything goes from that perspective as well. Simon Palmer getting close to Sab for 10th, also Sab getting close to Spud. Tina says, why did Spud go for the hards? I don't know, mate. I really do not know why he went on for the hards, because the hards is a no-go at this track. You will be far behind unless you had an issue at the first few laps. You would have gone for the hards if you had a few issue to start with at the first lap or so. JP has got fast up the race now, 1:17.536. Now he needs to pull away and manage those tyre wear as best as he can. Smoke also having a quiet race again, but under a lot of pressure against Keza by 2/10. So can Keza, who also has got all those mad penalties itself, hopefully he's got 6 seconds worth of penalties, so he needs to get ahead of Smoke, but also produce 6 seconds. That's going to be tough within 10 laps. It's going to be very, very tough at this stage, Tim.
It really is. Take a look at Keza, though, and trying to chase down Smoke. Smoke, though, looking very good to get the points lead after this race. I do believe that Russman is a lap down, so if Smoke can finish in the podium and Russman doesn't gain any more positions, then, as you said, Malk, Smoke will be leading the championship by 1 point after this race. But the race is not over yet. It's still 10 laps to go. Keza trying to get around Smoke, and if he gets around him and then gets about 3 seconds ahead, then it's no longer podium position for the Alpine driver. Keza really just using every inch of the racetrack, trying to find a way around Smoke and just not able to do it. Of course, Smoke, he knows what he's doing and he knows how to defend, and he's a smart driver, but you know what? So is Keza. So you got 2 really intelligent drivers here just trying to battle it out, and there goes Keza around the outside of Smoke, but is it going to last? Yes, it will, at least for now. So Keza has cleared Smoke, moved him up into the 3rd position. Smoke going to have to go back on the offensive and get back to Keza, but he might have to start worrying about Matty out the back. His car allocated teammate for today is slowly starting to close in, but Matty's on those soft compound tires, so how long that's going to last, who knows? And we would say that Russman is there trying to hold Matty up, but as you can see, Russman being a lap down is not holding Matty up whatsoever due to the fact that he's ghosted. That does happen. But, hey, you know, I'd say Matty does not mind that at all. Going back to the battle for the lead, or lack thereof, because JP is now 1.4 seconds ahead of Michael Luke. But here's an update on your time penalties. 3 seconds for JP, 6 seconds now for Keza. So Michael Luke, still no time penalty. So if the race were to end right now, Michael would still get that win. But it's looking like JP is going to start putting some more distance between him and Michael. So just maybe JP could have it in for a win.
Maybe, but it just all depends on how JP can put that consistency. Now, this is where I said this could be the crucial point. Probably about lap 26, 27 is the ones that I'm expecting JP to lose his tyre wear at this stage. That's all I'm going to say as well. Hello, Lightning. How you doing, mate? You all right? Hope you're going well. So yeah, it's absolutely insane. It's good to have you on in the chat itself. So I hope you're enjoying the race so far. So yeah, 8 laps to go, Tim. 8 laps to go. Michael could be on for a chance to win his first race of the season itself. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, this could be his first race of the season. So we'll have to wait and see how everything goes from that perspective. But look, so Smoke could be back to his form, back to the podium, which he has lost at. I thought there was going to be a problem where he lost a few momentum, but that could be a bit of a blip from Smoke. We'll have to wait and see how everything goes at this stage. So where's Gel now? Gel's coming up too close to Steven now for 6th place. So let's see if Gel can try and put the pressure on. We'll take a look at this and see what Tim is going to watch at this stage. Let's see how Gel can try and do with the DRS. Right, let's see if Gel can try and push on. Oh, Steven, will they have mostly the ERS? No, they're trying to save those ERS as much as possible. But Steven trying to catch up to Matty. Not enough, but he's getting close to 5th place, Tim.
And we really saw ourselves a classic DRS train, for better or for worse, down the front straightaway. But now look at some jostling around for position. Keza trying to get around Smoke, but Smoke gets back around Keza. So a nice battle for P3 there on track. Of course, remember, Keza 6 seconds worth of time penalties. So it was really never Smoke losing out on P3. At least not in all actuality. On track, sure, but Smoke was going to re-inherit that position. He decided to do it on track anyway. He can try to give chase to Michael, but it's 7 seconds. Yes, 7 seconds between 2nd place and 3rd place.
Yeah, but if a safety car comes in now, you never know what's going to happen. You really never know what's going to happen. So Keza's under putting the pressure on Smoke. So let's see if Smoke I don't know what's happened to Smoke, but he is really slowing down. Cannot catch up to Michael. Now Keza's got the chance now to make the move on to Smoke. Now back up to 3rd place. This is where Keza needs to start pushing on. Down the street, and Keza makes the move with the DRS intact. Tim, good move.
So you're talking about Smoke and what might be happening. I have a theory, and if he does get this podium, I'm going to ask him about this in the interviews. But my theory, I'm going to have to quote a fantastic movie of Days of Thunder here, but there are calculating drivers, and then there are kamikaze drivers. Kamikaze drivers are the ones that are quick, they're fast, but sometimes they make mistakes, and they cost themselves a race. Then you've got the calculating drivers who are quick, they are fast as well, but sometimes they're not always setting the world on fire, and instead they calculate what they need, and they essentially run their own race. Think of sort of Alain Prost type of mindset. I think that's what's going on here with Smoke at the moment. He knows that without a safety car, which we are likely not going to get this late in the race, that he cannot catch Michael Luke. So instead, he knows that if he just lets Keza by, then he doesn't have to worry about battling with Keza. Therefore, no risk of wrecking with Keza, and he will still get 3rd place and be leading the points.
Absolutely, but Keza's made an absolute mistake because he's had another 3-second time penalty, Tim. He had another 3-second time penalty, which is now 9 seconds. So, mad scenes, to be fair. Absolutely mad. Here we go. This is where JP needs to hold on with those tyre wears. So we're on lap He's already done 11 laps already. Michael could be closing the gap now. Look at that. It was from a second, and now it's 6 seconds. Sorry, 6 times. I'm losing the plot, Tim. I'm so sorry. I'm losing the plot. Oh, someone's just got off way wide. I think that might be O'Steven. Yeah, O'Steven's made a massive mistake. And now Gel. Oh, Gel nearly made the move, but trying to keep it cool and calm. So this is where O'Steven needs to hold on. Gel. Oh, go on! Go on! Oh, what a move there, Tim. What a move. Did you see that?
Sadly, no, and a little bit of a wiggle there from O'Steven there out of the chicane, but we were actually watching JP and Michael Luke battle it out. They are getting very close to each other indeed. Michael using the DRS. I think this is going to be his opportunity to get around JP. It's side by side for the lead. Michael clears JP and going into turn number 1, so move him up into the first position. And JP really needs Michael to make a massive mistake now. It's lap 29 of 32, so you were almost on the money, Malk. You said about lap 26, 27 is when JP would start to struggle. Well, on lap 29 is when he lost the lead.
Absolutely. That was just pure guessing based on the stats as well. So well, JP, I'm just going to double check on the penalty script if I'm wrong. 3 seconds. So he will be all right. He will be all right because of the situation from the back. So he will guarantee to finish off in second as long as he doesn't make any silly mistakes now. As long as he doesn't make any silly mistakes now and try and keep up with Michael. That's what he will probably need to do. Just keep up with Michael and then he'll be fine. The gap between Keza and Smoke Team is 2.6. Keza needs 9-second gap to keep third place. And 4 laps, sorry, Tim.
Yeah, and you know, at this point, that's almost impossible. So, Keza, he needs Smoke to make a lot of mistakes in order to get this P3. It's still technically possible, but with each passing corner, each passing lap, the chances of Keza getting on that podium are dwindling. But it's looking like at least potentially a top 5, top 6 finish for the AlphaTauri driver, which is still a decent day. It's lap 30 of 32, though, just 3 laps to go in the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. This is the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Realistic Performance League from Imola, brought to you in partnership with GridFinder.com, sponsored by Delco Haas. A big thank you to our sponsor for jumping on board, supporting the stream and the league as a whole. There you see 2 teammates actually not really battling it out, but just riding together. Rustman and Smoke. Rustman a lap down. Smoke in P4, going to inherit the P3 position possibly at the end of this race. But going back to the battle for the lead, as JP is half a second behind Michael Luke, and they approach this little chicane here. JP, at this point, he's just going to have to start pulling Hail Mary moves. And no longer going to be able to even rely on that 6 seconds now worth of time penalties for JP. So that means that Michael Luke pretty much has to go off track entirely for JP to have a chance at winning this race. So JP at this point might not even finish on the podium. Well, actually, no, I am going to take that back. It is an 8-second gap between JP and Keza. So as long as he stays with Michael, he will get the podium position. But JP goes around Michael down the front straight away, a battle for the lead. He figures, you know what, maybe I can't win it, but I can at least finish in front of you on track. It's all about principle now with the driver in that Ferrari, and Michael, he knows that if he just calms down and rides out this race for the next lap and a half, that he will be the winner.
That's if Michael doesn't make a mistake, which he has not done, Tim. He has not done a mistake, and fair play to him. He has knuckled down. He's not messed about. He's going for that win. Whatever happens, he is going for that win. But yeah, he's doing what Smoke's doing earlier on. Just ease off and just, you know, don't ease off too much, because otherwise you will lose at the gap. But he's just making sure that he's just keeping the consistency going and keeping the pressure on JP for the win itself. But mad race, to be fair. Gel in 5th, you got Matty in 6th. We'll try to see if there's any battles. It looks like there might be one between I thought that was from Smoke there, but it's not. So mad, fantastic racing, don't get me wrong. I love Imola track, to be fair. I really love the track. And it brought us some madness, to be fair. So we'll have to wait and see how everything goes. And Gel will have the DRS and try and catch up to Smoke in 4th place, Tim.
And it's the last lap, lap 32 of 32. Michael just trying to hang on. That's really all he's got to do is hang on and stay within 6 seconds of JP. So he can almost go for a parade lap around here. He doesn't have to push the car. And there you see him. He's swerving a little bit. I don't know if he's trying to celebrate. I would not celebrate too early. I don't care if it's on the front straightaway. Do not celebrate too early until you are right at that line. So Michael, at this point, he just needs to make a few more corners. They are approaching the 3rd and final sector. They're in the 3rd sector now. JP, of course, he has won 2 races this season. He won Bahrain. He won Saudi Arabia. He's going to win on track today. But it's not going to look like he's going to be able to be credited with the win beyond that, because Michael Luke, with no time penalties, has ran a fantastic race. Out of the final corner, JP crosses the line in first, but after time penalties, it's Michael Luke who wins the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. JP down to 2nd. Keza will finish on track in 3rd, but after the time penalty, Smoke will inherit that 3rd position, getting a podium and solidifying his points lead by 1 single point over his teammate of Russman. Maddie finishes in 4th, O'Steven in 5th, Keza drops all the way down to 6th, with Gel in 7th place. 8th is Ginger Tiger. Simon Palmer, he started in a fantastic position, top 3. But unfortunately, a spin while racing for the lead saw him drop down. He finishes in 9th, still not a bad day. Sab finishes in 10th, Sir Spud in 11th, Russman Speed Queen 80 in 12th and 13th.
So yeah, Smoke is got himself back into the lead by 1 point, Tim. Got himself back into the lead by 1 point. Mad season, to be fair. Fair play to him. Fair play to the drivers. And well done to Michael. I stand by what I said originally. I'm sure he'll be absolutely delighted with that. We'll hear his thoughts in a moment or two. But well done to Michael, who had a great race and proved me wrong tonight. Fair play to him. But that's what I love about drivers who, if you get the doubts wrong from someone else, prove them wrong on track, and he has done that perfectly. And well done to JP for finishing off in 2nd, and also to Smoke to get himself back into that podium position itself. So mad scenes with and Tim, I'll let you do the honours for the classification.
And your official finishing results for the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Realistic Performance League Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Michael Luke in the Red Bull captures his first win of the season. JP in 2nd, Smoke in 3rd, 4th is Maddie, 5th is O'Steven, Keza in 6th, Gel in 7th, Ginger Tiger in 8th, 9th is Simon Palmer, Sab in 10th, Sir Spud in 11th, 12th is Russman, 13th is Speed Queen 80, 14th is Nitro Grash, and then Tarak in the 15th position. We'll talk to our top 3 finishers of Michael, Luke, JP, and Smoke here in just a few moments' time, but a chaotic race ends with a first-time winner on the season.
Absolutely, and it'd be good to hear from Michael's point of view of that fantastic race. Where he had 2nd place, I believe, from F3 yesterday, so is now going to onto the pole to the win itself. So yeah, so absolutely fantastic time for him, and I'm sure he'll be absolutely delighted with that. And also we'll hear from JP, and also probably I'm hoping if Smoke can try and get himself in. If not, we will try and see if he can be able to come in. We'll just bear with us a sec, guys. We are going to try and get Smoke in. If he doesn't come in, we'll just do the top 2 as planned as well, unless someone says that he's not coming in. I don't know, but we'll try and get him in as quick as possible. But Tim, while I try and get Smoke into the commentators box, what's your thoughts of the race that you thought of in overall itself?
Well, it wasn't the nail-biter that I was hoping for, because it got a little spread out there at the beginning, but it was chaotic, and then the late race safety car finally brought most of the drivers back into contention, which gave us a nice little battle there at the end. Of course, a lot of time penalties deciding positions, which is no different from most of the races that we see in the Performance League, but overall, it was a good race, but also just a very interesting race. It was probably one of the more crazy ones, just because of how spread out the pack got there at the beginning with that 3, 4, maybe even 5 car wreck, and somehow no one DNF'd, and there was no safety car.
Yeah, until obviously we've had 2 DNFs tonight, but we'll have to wait and see how everything goes from everyone's
One safety
perspective.
car.
Yeah, I was going to say we had the one safety car itself, Tim. I think Tim's just forgot we've just had the safety car during this race.
Oh, no. I mean, on the first lap, there was no safety car.
Oh,
yeah.
no. I was going to say, I thought you were talking about the whole thing in general. Sorry, Tim, my bad. Guys, I believe all 3 drivers are in the commentators box. So if you are in the commentators box, please make sure you allow voice to be shared. It's set to always allow. If you're not sure how to do it, go to the party settings, and there's an option called allow voice to be shared. Make sure it's set to always allow. So while the drivers are getting themselves sorted and ready to go with their the mic to sort out, make sure there's no issues during the interviews itself. Tim will be doing the interviews for the top 3 to hear Michael's epic win at the Imola track, and I'm sure he's going to shout at me during the interviews itself for proving me wrong on that one. And also well done to JP for a great battle. He did well with the softs at the end. It was a shame with the penalties itself. And well done to Smoke for getting himself back into the top 3 itself. Guys, are you all set, ready to go?
Yep.
Okay. So all 3 drivers are all set, ready to go. So Tim, I'll let you do the honours for the interviews.
And first things first, we will speak to our winner, Michael Luke. And I know that it has been a long time coming for you. You have been waiting to talk to us from the position that you are. Just tell us, what is it like to finally get the monkey off your back and get your first win of the season?
Yeah, I will say better late than never. So the season is almost at its end, and now I'm start to win. Yesterday in the F3 League, sorry, I was end on pay 2 and now pay 1. So yeah, it's a little bit too late, but better late than never.
So in other races during the season, when we've seen you get a good qualifying result, we've also seen you have trouble really putting a race together. So what was different between today and those other races that saw you finally get a full race put together?
Well, I've changed the camera a little bit, and yeah, I think I have more patience than before. I was also a little bit nervous before the race, and I wanted win so badly that I make mistakes every time again, you know. So yeah, I'm more driving calm now, and yeah, just focus on the finish flag.
Well, Michael, you have finally captured your first win of the season. You may not be in contention for the championship, but it don't mean you can't win some races. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And now we'll talk to our second place finisher of JP. JP, you've got some wins on the season. Almost picked up another one. You have to settle for P2 due to time penalties. With the exception of not picking up the time penalties, do you think there's anything else that you could have done, or was Michael just too fast?
Yeah, Michael was too fast. That's simply put, really. He was very quick. I couldn't shake him off after I got past, and with my penalties, there was no way really. I just had to settle for P2. I'm a bit disappointed in myself because I thought maybe I could try and stay with just 3 seconds and then he might get a penalty, and I got 6, so that was game over. I'll still take P2 though. It's a good result.
So walk us through your decision to put the soft tire compound on during that final safety car because, obviously you were cutting it a little bit close, but somehow you were still able to have decent pace there at the end despite lasting, I'd say, longer than anyone else did on the soft tires.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that they were able to last because I think there was 17 laps including the safety car to go on the softs, which it's a long time on the softs. I just said I'd risk it. I was started on mediums doing the alternate strategy, and then the safety car just I thought if I wanted to get this win, I had to go for softs, so I did, and it nearly worked, but not quite.
Well, it may not be a win, but it's second place at the podium in a good day. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And we'll talk to our third place finisher now, Smoke in the Alpine. If our calculations are correct, you are the points leader by 1 single point over that pesky little devil that you call a teammate, Rustman. So just tell us, what's it like battling with him still? I mean, it's been the story for the past few weeks now, you two trading the top spot. So, you know, is the dialogue changing at all? Are you two getting a little bit more competitive, or is it just business as usual?
No, it's just business as usual. Get the usual banter between the two of us, but as far as I'm concerned, nothing changes.
So
the main result we want really is the team one. The drivers is a bonus, I suppose.
Well, the constructor standings is looking very strong for you two as well. But walk us through your battle with Keza, because I actually want to ask you something. Is, you know, I would imagine that by that point you had pretty much conceded the race to Michael, barring a late race safety car, which was, you know, quickly becoming impossible to happen. So did you just decide to back off, let Keza go, knowing that you would get that third place back, or was your car just really struggling for grip there at the end?
Well, I haven't had a great deal of practice. Imola's a bit of a bogey circuit for me in the first place, and the Alpine is borderline useless at Imola. It's not fast enough down the straight, and in the set, if you try and compromise the set off a straight line, it compromises you massively throughout sector 2 and 3 because you can't turn the car. So I knew he was going to be naturally faster, but my hope was to try and stay in his DRS and use his pace to maybe tow us both to the top 2. That didn't really pan out. Yeah, and I just burnt through my rear tyres. I think was like 3 laps from the end, and I saw Matty and Jelly coming up behind me, and I was just, yeah, hoping I could hold on.
Well, nonetheless, it's podium for you in that Alpine that you have dubbed as practically useless, so at least you got a good day out of it, and it's a good points day for the team as well.
Thank you.
And Malk, what are your closing thoughts on what was definitely one of the most chaotic races that we have seen around Imola?
Mad start, should we say. It was absolutely mad start. Carnage, I think it was between 3 or 4 cars. And then the safety car come out. It just brought the cars back together again. And well done to Michael. I think he did a drive tonight. Well done also to JP for that battle, and then Smoke for third place as well. Just reading some of the last bit of comments. To this says, Flying Dutchman Michael is doing it, and he has won it. Ellie says, great race there. Thanks for the commentary. No worries, Ellie. I hope you enjoyed that. Kelly Luked says, great race. P1 Michael on there. So, yeah, Kelly's absolutely delighted with that. Tinnis says, great to see 2 F3 drivers on podium. Proud of them. Yeah, they've done an absolute stellar job as well, to be fair. So, it was a good race. Don't get me wrong, it was a good race. But there was so much battles that there were some bits that probably need to be talked about in more depth, but yeah, great racing overall, and well done to the top 3 tonight.
And with that, that is all the time that we have. But big thank you to all the drivers that raced with us. Thank you to everyone who watched. And congratulations to our top 3 finishers. This has been the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, brought to you in partnership with GridFinder.com, sponsored by Nailcoat Hall. Big thank you to our sponsors for jumping on board, supporting the stream and the league as a whole. And until next time, goodbye and have fun.
See you later, guys. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.